The Galactic Council had seen many species rise and fall across the stars. They had witnessed civilizations that could bend light itself, races that lived in the hearts of suns, and empires that spanned entire galaxy clusters. But never, in their million-year history, had they encountered anything quite like humanity. Commander Zixthar of the Accordance Fleet watched the blue marble of Earth rotate slowly on his view screen. His three eyes narrowed in confusion as sensor readings poured across his display. The humans had been spacefaring for barely 2 centuries, yet they had requested an emergency session of the Council, something about a breakthrough that would change everything. The Accordance had come to observe, along with representatives from 40 other species. They maintained a safe orbit around Earth's moon, waiting to see what these peculiar primates wanted to show them. "Commander, the human vessel is approaching," his tactical officer announced. Zixthar leaned forward. The human ship was small, almost laughably so compared to the massive dreadnoughts surrounding it. But there was something else approaching with it. His sensors detected a single human life form, unshielded, moving through the void of space without any visible propulsion system. "Is that a human?" he asked, his voice crackling with disbelief. "In open space? Without a suit?" "Confirmed, Commander. The readings show a human female, approximately 30 Earth years old. But sir, the energy signature surrounding her is unlike anything in our database." The figure moved with impossible grace through the vacuum. She wore robes that seemed to shift between deep blue and silver, as if reflecting light that wasn't there. Her skin held a faint luminescence, and her eyes glowed with an inner radiance that reminded Zixthar of binary stars. The human ship broadcast on all frequencies. "Honored representatives of the Galactic Council, we present to you High Priestess Elena Markov, first of the lunar-touched, channeler of the moon's ancient power." Zixthar had heard the humans speak of religion before, primitive beliefs in supernatural forces. He had dismissed it as the quaint mythology of a young species. But watching this woman float effortlessly toward his flagship, he felt the first stirrings of doubt. Elena Markov raised her arms, and the universe seemed to listen. The moon, Earth's ancient companion, began to pulse with light. Not reflected sunlight, but something deeper, older. The same blue-silver radiance that surrounded the Priestess. On Zixthar's sensors, gravitational readings went haywire. Every ship in the fleet felt a sudden pull, not toward the moon, but away from it, as if the celestial body had temporarily reversed its gravity. "Impossible," the tactical officer whispered. "The gravitational constant can't just change. It's a fundamental force of the universe." But it had changed. Or rather, something was overriding it. Elena's voice filled every ship's communication system, though she wore no visible technology. "Honored guests, you come from worlds across the stars. You have mastered faster-than-light travel, energy manipulation, and countless other wonders. But there is one force you have always treated as immutable, one power you have never thought to question." She clenched her fists, and below, on Earth's surface, every ocean began to rise. Zixthar pulled up visual feeds from the planet. Impossible. The tides were rising, not according to the lunar cycle or any predictable pattern, but in response to the Priestess's will. Waves 100 meters high formed in the Pacific, held suspended as if frozen in time. The Atlantic Ocean pulled back from its shores, exposing the seafloor for kilometers. "Gravity," Elena continued, "is not a constant. It is a conversation between mass and space. And we have learned to join that conversation." She opened her hands, and the waters returned to their natural state, flowing back into place with such precision that not a single coastal city was damaged. The demonstration of control was perhaps more frightening than the raw power itself. "Commander, I recommend we raise shields," the tactical officer said, his voice shaking. Zixthar shook his head slowly. "If she wanted to harm us, we would already be dead. She could have pulled our ships into the moon or thrown them into the sun." The human diplomatic vessel drew closer, and a holographic projection, appeared in the center of Zixthar's bridge. It showed a human man in formal attire, silver-haired and calm. "I am Secretary General Chun of the United Earth Government. What you have witnessed is the result of the Lunar Initiative, a project that began 50 years ago." The hologram shifted, showing images of a massive structure on the moon's surface. "When we first landed on our moon, we treated it as a dead rock, a stepping stone to greater ambitions. But our scientists discovered something remarkable in the lunar regolith. Crystals formed during the moon's creation, embedded with a form of energy we had never encountered before. More images appeared, showing crystalline structures that seemed to contain galaxies within them. These crystals respond to human consciousness. We don't know why. Perhaps it's something unique about our neural structure, or perhaps it's because we evolved under this specific moon's influence for millions of years. But when certain individuals make physical and mental contact with these crystals, something awakens." Elena drifted closer to Zixthar's flagship. Her eyes met his through the viewport, and he felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. This was not the gaze of a primitive being. This was the look of someone who had touched something fundamental about the universe. "We call them the Lunar Touched," Secretary General Chun continued. "They can perceive and manipulate gravitational fields. They can feel the pull between planets, the attraction between stars. And most remarkably, they can channel these forces through their will." The hologram shifted to show hundreds of humans in blue robes, stationed across Earth's solar system. On Mars, helping to terraform the planet by adjusting its atmospheric retention. In the asteroid belt, moving massive rocks with nothing but thought. Near Jupiter, studying the immense gravitational forces of the gas giant. "The process is not easy," Chun explained. "The training takes decades. The mental discipline required is immense. And not every human can become lunar touched. Only about 1 in every 100,000 has the neurological capacity. But those who succeed become something more than human. They become bridges between consciousness and the fundamental forces of reality." Zixthar found his voice. "This is unprecedented. No species in the Council's history has developed such abilities. Machines, yes. Technology, certainly. The biological manipulation of gravity itself." Elena spoke again, her voice carrying a weight that seemed to press against reality itself. "We do not claim to be superior. We know we are young, inexperienced in the ways of the galaxy. But we offer this gift to the Council. Let us teach those species capable of learning. Let us explore together what it means to bridge the gap between mind and matter." The Galactic Council's representatives began broadcasting on emergency channels. Zixthar could hear the panic, the excitement, the fear. The implications were staggering. If humans could manipulate gravity, what prevented them from collapsing stars? From creating black holes? From weaponizing the very fabric of spacetime? As if sensing these thoughts, Elena made a gesture, and suddenly every ship in the fleet felt lighter. The gravitational constant around them had increased by a microscopic amount, just enough to make movement easier, more efficient. Then she returned it to normal. "We understand your fear," she said. "Power without restraint is tyranny. That is why we propose the formation of the Gravitational Research Cooperative. Representatives from every council species, working alongside the Lunar Touch to understand these forces. We will not hoard this knowledge. We will not weaponize it for conquest. We offer it freely as our contribution to galactic civilization." Secretary General Chun's hologram showed a massive space station under construction. This facility, positioned at the Earth-Moon Lagrange point, will serve as the cooperative's headquarters. Here, scientists from across the galaxy can study gravitational manipulations safely, far from populated worlds. Zixthar made a decision. He opened a channel to the Accordance Parliament. "This is Commander Zixthar. I am witnessing a paradigm shift. The humans have developed something that could revolutionize our understanding of physics. I recommend immediate approval of their proposal." The response came quickly. The Parliament, along with dozens of other council governments, had been watching the demonstration. The vote was unanimous. Humanity would be welcomed into the Galactic Council not as junior members, but as partners. As teachers. Elena drifted back toward the human vessel, but before she departed, she performed one final demonstration. She reached out with her power, and across the solar system, every moon began to glow with that same blue-silver light. Earth's moon, Mars's Phobos and Deimos, the dozens of moons circling Jupiter and Saturn. They all resonated with the same frequency, creating a symphony of gravitational waves that every sensor in the fleet could detect. "We are all connected," Elena said. "Every moon, every planet, every star. They speak to each other through gravity, through the bend of space-time. We have simply learned to hear that conversation. And now, we wish to share that hearing with all who will listen." The human ship turned back toward Earth, and Elena followed, leaving the assembled fleet in stunned silence. Zixtar looked at his tactical officer. "Update the fleet logs." Today, humanity stopped being a curiosity and became one of the most important species in the galaxy. The Lunar Touched have given us a gift beyond measure. As the Accordance fleet prepared to return to Council space, Zixtar watched the blue-robed figure disappear into Earth's atmosphere. He thought about the implications, about what this meant for the future. Humanity had always been known for their stubborn determination, their refusal to accept the impossible. But this was something else entirely. They had looked at the moon, that ancient companion that had watched over them for billions of years, and instead of seeing a dead rock, they had seen potential. They had seen power waiting to be understood, to be channeled, to be shared. On Earth below, in the lunar temple constructed at the site of humanity's first moon landing, thousands of students gathered to begin their training. They would learn to quiet their minds, to extend their consciousness beyond their bodies, to feel the gentle pull of the moon's gravity. Most would fail. Many would give up. But those who succeeded would join Elena Markov and the other Lunar Touched in shepherding humanity into a new age. The tides of change, it seemed, obeyed more than just the moon's pull. They obeyed the will of those brave enough to reach out and touch the fundamental forces of existence. And humanity, for all their youth and inexperience, had proven they possessed that courage in abundance. The Galactic Council would never be the same, and neither would the universe's understanding of what was possible when consciousness met cosmos.